there again. Yes, we're back here at Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge, and my hair is all over the place. So today, it's a beautiful Tuesday, and I want to talk to you a little bit about methods. When you get ready to write your lesson plan and you're thinking about methods, I want to start you off with thinking in the terms that I couched objective in, and that's activity. Before you even try to begin to really write lectures that you're going to use with your classes, you need to spend some time thinking about activities you're going to have them do. And the main reason is they're going to benefit from activities more than they are going to benefit from you just standing up front and holding forth. Presentations can help in this way, but I think if you start with the grounding force of the activity that they're going to do, you're going to get way better results, okay? So, one of the first things I would say about activities, think about the activities that would naturally fit in your subject area. Math is beautifully designed for activities. You could say, all right, use Jackie's volunteer system of random assignment. You could put the start of the problem on the board and say, okay, X person come up and try to figure the first step. And you be there sitting watching, and if they seem nonplussed, if they seem confused, you suggest the first step and show it to them. And then rotate students up to the board. Now, there are teachers that will say, don't do this because it embarrasses them. Teenagers are embarrassed perpetually, and young children are not. So if you have young children, go for it. If you have teenagers, tell them to suck it up, Buttercup. It's okay to be embarrassed. It won't last long, and somebody else will be embarrassed later on. Okay? All right. So, if you have, like, an English class and you want to do an activity, one of the things you could do is design activities around reading or writing. So, for example, if you have a story that has 45 paragraphs, the day before you plan to read it in class, you might actually assign paragraphs to different people and have them know that the next day in class they're going to be reading those paragraphs. If they don't show up, you're going to have to read their paragraph. But generally speaking, if they know it's coming, they might look it over. And if they don't, that's okay too. But the idea is, let them be part of the reading experience. Now, I know this is dicey because some people are terrible aloud readers, but they don't get better if they don't practice. So you do part of the paragraphs and they do part of the paragraphs. One of the things I used to do is I would read one and then one of the students would read one, and then I would read one and then one of the students would read one, and that way we'd get through it and I'd done my part, but they also participated. And so anytime you can get an activity going where they're going to put stuff in, they're going to say stuff, they're going to do stuff, anytime you can do that, the better the learning will be, okay? So no matter what subject, let's say you're teaching a science class. If you're teaching a science class, set up an experiment in the classroom, show them what the experiment is going to be, and then have them, before you do the experiment, write down 3 things they think are going to happen during the experiment. And then have a few of them read them. Then do the experiment. Then pay attention to things that maybe they didn't predict or things they predicted, and acknowledge that they were smart to predict that. Make sure that they are invested in anything that you do because it will be part of what they're doing. Let's say you're teaching a history class and you're about to teach the Declaration of Independence. You might have little questions on slips of paper about the Declaration and have each student draw a question out and tell them tomorrow you have to answer that question. They can look it up anywhere. They can look it up online, they can look it up anywhere else, but they just have to be ready to answer that question. And that way, the students are invested in at least one bit of knowledge in the class. And of course, it's going to be much more lively if they're involved. Hold off on planning lectures or presentations. Start by centering on them doing things. By doing things, they learn things. That's it for today. I hope you have a glorious day, and I hope you see me again soon, you gorgeous people.